Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and just a quick little video today, but I had to show this guy off. This is Tozen, a Hikiga spirit binder that comes to us from Cobramode Miniatures, and we've had quite a few of the Hikiga on this channel from Cobramode over the inception of this channel, and since my purchase of a 3D printer. Cobramode makes some very whimsical, interesting, very fantastic creations that kind of get a life of their own. There is a bit of that Eastern fantasy embellished within the designs, and it's something we don't see a lot of, and for that, obviously, they need to be celebrated because they make some really cool, unique-looking figures. And so, yeah, like you can see, there's a bit of a Japanese, Chinese influence, bit of a sumo dress, the spirit binder kind of Asian mysticism of like Avatar and things like that. I always thought that this actually was supposed to be part of him, like it was like some kind of backpack array that he was wearing, but it's actually a completely separate piece, so if you wanted to print this and use it for whatever nefarious purposes you wanted to, that is totally cool and doable. But I mean, he's just a big, paunchy frog. You wanted a nice stand-in for a slant or something, there's some really interesting Hikiga that Cobramode have put out since they started doing this line of figures. And it is hollowed out, so that's not something to worry about there. But that's not actually what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about one of Cobramode's bigger models, and for whatever reason, I have the worst luck. And I don't blame Cobramode in any way, shape, or form. It is 100% me. Every single time I've started working on one of their larger models that I've featured on this channel before, I inadvertently have ended up breaking it. So when we had the Yeti three-eyed monkey dude sitting on top of the floating rocks with the giant spirit things flying around him in the evil possessed mirror, totally almost finished with it, dropped it, shattered it. Very disappointing. I had the tea house a while back. Cracked that when it fell off the table because I put too much force trying to put the pieces together, and it just flew out of my hands and again shattered far beyond salvaging. So I'm hoping that our next figure is going to be in a little bit better shape. We won't even talk about what I ended up doing with the big floaty spirit mask thing if you guys want to dig through the backlog of videos we've had on this channel. But today we're going to actually take a look at the command post Tsukumogami. That's a mouthful. And our command post, Tsukumogami, comes to us in 3 parts. But just look at that face. I loved this thing. As soon as I saw this, I was like, wow, that's like a giant, like, Cobramode super robot kaiju equivalent. And I had to get it printed. So it comes in 3 pieces. And like some of the other spirits that we have seen from Cobramode, they often have these masks attached to them. And you can see like all their kind of ethereal energies smoking out underneath that. So this is going to be his base. I'm like, okay, I thought I wasn't feeling resin or anything. Didn't think it was dripping. I thought I cleaned it pretty good. And you can see here it's quite nicely hollowed out. It's got a nice big indent for the torso. Now, sadly, I already broke the torso. I snapped off the tip of his fan there. That was quite embarrassing, and I'm going to admit it. But again, the level of detail and richness in the textures and designs, this is a painter's just field day waiting to happen. Obviously, a more established painter / printer is going to do a much better job of getting things cleaned up than I obviously did. I thought I did okay, but that is the joy of having the camera show you every little imperfection that you have wrought upon the printer. And once we have everything all on top of it, and it's called the command post because these things are going to be sitting further out on the battlefield, observing everything and blasting their enemies to smithereens with their I-beams, Doom Ray I-beams. And I do like the fact that, you could just sit here all dry fitted and things are already fitting into a nice and neat position. And it's a good sized model. One of our Oni friends from Cobramode. Sadly, I put everything away. I put a lot of models away. I was trying to be all industrious with vacation coming and trying to clean up. And then, of course, I'm like, where are these things? And they are no longer in front of me, unfortunately. So, let's see. What else can we grab that people might be familiar with? How about a Space Marine? And where is my ever-present, loyal witch hunter friend. I don't know. Where are you when I need you, old friend? There you are. Blending in with a bunch of historical figures. So you can see it's going to be quite an imposing model, and I think, you know, if you have, well, if you want some exotic Xenos type stuff, or if you've already got a very well-established Asian mythological fantasy tabletop world developed at this point, then, you know, I'm like me. I think it's going to look great with a lot of the other stuff I've got, and you know I like me, my big red evil Oni-type monsters, so that's probably what I'm going to do. I am having a really tough time coming up with a paint scheme for this guy. And I might just hold off and wait and see what other people are doing online and just wholeheartedly copy them. But no, I don't know. I'm having a real tough time. I'm thinking like shiny black armor with like gold, you know, filigree and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just go look at a bunch of samurai photos and stuff. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. I'm thinking like bronze and gold for the various masks. Is this a mask? I'm not sure what this is. It looks like an actual face. Sort of, kind of. No! Well, okay. That Oni is now getting his sword fixed. That's probably a good indicator that maybe I need to be a little bit more careful and stop filming things in the middle of the night, because obviously I'm going to break more things. If you like big, interesting fantasy Asian-style models with a very mythical fantasy bend to them, then wholeheartedly I recommend you go take a look at Cobramode stuff, because they are always putting out different and interesting things. May not be exactly what I'm looking for at a certain particular time, but there is always going to be something cool coming out from them. So like I said, do give them a look. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamerlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.